The banners of House Valith burned with silver light above the sky palace. They moved without wind, shaped by controlled gravity fields, and ancient technology below them gathered rulers. Warlords, princes, and envoys from across the quadrant each had come for one purpose, to claim the hand of Princess Layari Valith, only daughter of Queen Serathine, heir to the most dominant empire in known space. Layari stood at the center of the grand hall, wrapped in white armor woven from living crystal. Her violet eyes glowed softly, her presence pressed against the minds of everyone present. Most felt it as weight, some felt it as fear, none ignored it. The first suitor stepped forward, a star-crowned prince whose fleet had conquered 3 systems. He knelt and presented a sphere forged from neutron star matter, a symbol of unstoppable power. "I offer strength and expansion," he declared. Layari did not touch the sphere. "Your expansion is fueled by unstable supply lines," she said calmly. "Your third system will revolt within 4 cycles. You mistake aggression for strategy." The prince stiffened. He withdrew. The next suitor offered psychic unity. Another promised endless resources. Another swore obedience. Each left with pride. Wounded Layari remained unmoved from her throne. "Queen Serathine watched you dismiss power too easily," her mother said when the hall grew quiet. "I dismiss weakness disguised as power," Layari replied. "Alliances build empires. Dependence destroys them." The court whispered that. The princess was arrogant. Layari considered it accuracy. She did not seek someone who would kneel. She sought someone who would stand. Then the human arrived. There was no spectacle, no distortion of space, no dramatic entrance, a modest, diplomatic vessel. 3 representatives, 2 diplomats, 1 security officer. Layari noticed him immediately. He stood behind the diplomats, but not hidden. Straight posture, steady eyes, controlled breathing. He observed everything. He did not lower his gaze when she looked at him. "What is your name?" she asked. The hall fell silent. The question was not for the diplomats. "Captain Elias Ward," he answered. His voice carried no tremor. "You are not royalty," Layari said. "No, you are not enhanced. No, yet you stand before me without kneeling." "Yes." The pressure in the hall intensified. Several nobles shifted uncomfortably. "Do you not feel my presence pressing against your mind?" she asked. "I do." "Then kneel." "No." The word struck the chamber like a blade. Gasps echoed. Guards stepped forward. Layari raised one hand and they stopped. "Explain," she said. "Respect given freely is worth more than obedience forced," he replied. "Silence. You stand in the heart of an empire older than your species' history," she said. "Yes, you face a princess who could end your life with a thought. Yes, and you still refuse." "Yes." There was no defiance in his tone, only certainty. Layari descended from the dais. She walked around him slowly, measuring his posture, his breathing, his pulse. "You are afraid," she said. "Yes, fear keeps me sharp. You calculate your odds, always, and yet you stand because dignity matters more than comfort." The words were simple, but they did not bend. "Walk with me," Layari commanded. Shock rippled through the court. The princess did not walk with strangers. They stepped onto the open balcony below them, stretched the glowing world of Ithria. Rivers of light cut across continents. Stars shimmered above you. "Think us arrogant," Layari said. "I think you are used to winning," Elias replied. "That is strength. It can also become weakness." She narrowed. Her eyes explained, "When no one challenges you, stagnation begins. When everyone kneels, you stop improving." Layari said nothing. "My species is fragile compared to yours," he continued. "We lack psychic dominance. We lack biological weapons. We lack ancient fleets, but we adapt when we are attacked. We study the attack. When we fail, we rebuild. When we fear, we move anyway." "You would lose against us in direct war," Layari said. "Yes," the answer came instantly, "and yet You do not seek protection through submission. No, why? Because survival without dignity is not survival. The wind shifted. Liari felt something unfamiliar. Not anger, not superiority, recognition. You would stand beside us, not beneath us, she said. Yes. And if we fell, he met her gaze, then we would stand in front of you. The statement carried no boast, only intent. Most suitors had spoken of protecting her, of possessing her, of expanding through her. None had spoken of standing in front of her. You understand, my court will test you, she said. Yes, they may attempt to break you, they can try. You are physically weaker than almost everyone here, yes. And you are comfortable with that. Strength is not only physical, it is conviction. Liari stepped closer. Close enough to feel the warmth of his skin. Human warmth was steady and grounding. She studied his eyes. There was no hunger for power, no desire to dominate, only the refusal to kneel. She had searched for someone who would not bend here. He stood, not powerful by her standards, but unmovable. Inside the hall, nobles whispered with growing anger. A princess of Ethria did not lower herself. Yet Liari did something that froze the entire palace. She inclined her head, not submission, acknowledgement. Elias mirrored the gesture. Equal. They returned to the throne room. Queen Seraphine watched carefully. Have you reached your decision, my daughter? Yes. The hall tightened. Liari stood tall. I have found someone worthy. Shock exploded the crystalline. Prince stared in disbelief. The warlord clenched his jaw. The diplomats nearly stopped breathing. A human, the queen said evenly. Yes. You understand, this choice alters the political balance of our region. Yes, mother. The queen turned her gaze to Elias. You accept the consequences. Yes, you may be challenged. Yes, you may be attacked. Yes, you may be targeted by those who resent this union. Yes, no hesitation, no fear beyond what he had already admitted. Queen Seraphine looked back to her daughter. You rejected conquerors, you dismissed ancient bloodlines. You choose a representative of a fledgling species. I choose someone who does not bend. Liari said, someone who values dignity over dominance, someone who will challenge me. The queen studied them both. Then slowly, a faint smile touched her face. Perhaps strength does not always shine the brightest. Perhaps it stands quietly. The hall erupted in whispers, but beneath outrage, a new truth spread. If the heir of Ethria chose a human, humanity was no longer minor. They were partners, not subjects, not tools. Partners. The message would move across star systems. The empire that ruled through power had chosen respect. Later, beneath the silent stars, Elias stood beside Liari. Once more, you realize. This complicates everything, he said. Good, she answered. Empires that never change collapse. He looked at her. You are risking political stability. Yes, for conviction. Yes. He allowed a small breath of amusement. Humans call that dangerous. Liari looked at him steadily. We call it evolution. They stood side by side, overlooking a galaxy that would soon shift around them to figures framed by starlight. Neither kneeling, neither bending. The strongest empire in the quadrant had not expanded through conquest that day. It had grown through choice and across the stars. Civilizations would whisper a new understanding. Power can dominate, but true strength stands without bowing. And when two such strengths stand together, the galaxy changes.